The cargo bay of Station Helios. 9 smelled like recycled air and desperation. Kaya had learned to recognize that scent during her years in the Terran Defense Corps. It was the smell of things people wanted to forget. She found the hatchling in the morning, curled beside a shipment crate marked for the Draconian embassy. His scales were dull, mottled gray instead of the iridescent shimmer the dragon species was famous for throughout the galaxy. His left wing hung at an odd angle, crumpled and malformed, a birth defect that would never allow flight. In a species that measured worth by aerial grace, he was already condemned. The hatchling's eyes opened as Kaya approached, golden, ancient eyes in a face no bigger than her hand. He didn't cry out. He simply watched her with the quiet acceptance of something that had already learned the universe was cruel. "They left you here, didn't they?" Kaya said softly, kneeling. Her own left leg ached, the phantom pain of the limb she'd lost on Proxima 7 flaring up as it always did in the station's artificial gravity. The hatchling made a sound, somewhere between a chirp and a whimper. The translator chip in Kaya's ear picked up fragments. Alone, broken, worthless. Kaya's jaw tightened. She'd heard those words before, whispered by military doctors who thought she couldn't hear, whispered by commanders who saw her prosthetic and forgot everything she'd done before the injury. "You're not worthless," she told the hatchling, reaching out slowly. "You're just different." She expected him to flinch, to snap with those tiny fangs. Instead, he leaned into her touch, his scales rough and cold against her calloused palm. In that moment, Kaya made a decision that would puzzle the entire station for months to come. She named him Rin, a human name, simple and strong. And she took him home. The other residents of Helios 9 didn't understand. The station was a melting pot of species, towering Caldrexians with their 4 arms, crystalline Zentari who communicated through light patterns, even a few other Draconians who served on diplomatic rotations. When they saw Kaya carrying Rin through the corridors, wrapped in her old military jacket, they whispered. "Humans and their pets," a Caldrexian trader muttered. "She wastes resources on a defective," a Zentari observed, their crystals pulsing with disdain. Even the Draconians turned away, as if Rin's existence was an embarrassment to their proud species. Kaya ignored them all. She'd learned during the war that opinions were cheap and survival was earned. She converted her small hab unit into a space that could accommodate a growing dragon. She researched Draconian nutrition, no easy task when most of the species refused to acknowledge Rin's existence, and spent half her veteran stipend on specialized minerals and proteins. She fashioned a harness for his malformed wing, not to fix it, but to support it so he could move without pain. And Rin grew, not in the way his species expected. He would never soar through atmospheres or perform the aerial dances that were central to Draconian culture. But he grew in other ways. His scales darkened to a deep charcoal, and his mind. Oh, his mind was sharp as a laser cutter. Kaya discovered this one evening when she found him manipulating her datapad with his claws, navigating through complex station schematics with ease. "You're a clever one, aren't you?" she murmured, watching him work. Rin looked up at her, and for the first time, she heard his voice through the translator. Not fragmented words, but a complete thought. "You showed me I could be more than broken. Let me show you what broken things can build." 3 months later, the Calvorian raiders attacked. They came without warning, punching through Helios 9's outer defenses with military-grade plasma cannons. The station's shields buckled. Alarms screamed through every corridor. Species that had coexisted peacefully for years now scrambled in panic, fighting for spots on evacuation shuttles that couldn't hold everyone. Kaya's combat instincts kicked in immediately. She sealed her hab unit and pulled up the station's defense grid on her terminal. What she saw made her blood run cold. The raiders had disabled the primary systems. The station was defenseless, and help was hours away. "We're going to die here," someone sobbed over the comm channels. Rin's claw touched Kaya's arm. Through the translator, his voice was calm. "The ventilation system. The power conduits. I've mapped every weakness in this station. And every strength." Kaya looked at him. In the emergency lighting, his scales gleamed like polished obsidian. His malformed wing twitched, useless for flight, but steady in its harness. "What do you need?" she asked. "Your hands. And your trust." What followed was a desperate symphony of human adaptability and Draconian brilliance. Rin directed Kaya through the station's infrastructure, guiding her to access panels and junction boxes no security protocol had ever considered vulnerable. She crawled through maintenance shafts her prosthetic leg wasn't designed for, ignoring the pain, while Rin calculated angles and power flows that would have taken the station's AI hours to process. They rerouted power from life support in abandoned sections. They created feedback loops in the station's external sensors that made Helios 9 appear to explode, when in reality they'd simply vented atmosphere from empty cargo bays. They turned the station itself into a weapon, channeling auxiliary power into a massive electromagnetic pulse that fried the Raiders' ships. When Terran Defense Corps vessels finally arrived, they found Helios 9 intact, its population shaken but alive, and the Raiders' ships drifting like dead moths in the void. They found Kaya unconscious in a maintenance tunnel, her prosthetic fried from the EMP, and Rin beside her, his small body wrapped protectively around her head. The station commander wanted to give Kaya a medal. She refused. "Give it to Rin," she said when she woke in the medical bay. "He saved us all." The commander looked uncomfortable. "He's not recognized as a sentient being by his own species. We can't." "Then change the recognition," Kaya interrupted, her voice hard as steel. "Because that defective hatchling just proved he's smarter than your entire security team." Word spread quickly through the galactic network. The story of the disabled dragon hatchling and the wounded human veteran who'd saved an entire space station became legend. Draconian councils convened. Debates raged about worth and ability and what it truly meant to be strong. But in her small hab unit on Helios 9, Kaya didn't care about any of that. She sat with Rin, who'd grown too large for her jacket now, but still tried to curl up beside her. "You know what the best part of being human is?" she asked him, scratching the scales behind his jaw. Rin's translator clicked. "What?" "We have a saying. It's not about the hand you're dealt. It's how you play it." She smiled. "You played one hell of a hand, kid." Rin's eyes gleamed with something that might have been dragon laughter. "I learned from the best." Outside their window, stars wheeled through the infinite dark, a universe vast and cold and often cruel. But inside, in the warmth of found family, two broken things had built something unbreakable, and that, the galaxy would learn, was the most human thing of all.